What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Max AC, formerly Mr. Trenbo. Some of my regular subscribers have been asking, why did I change my name? Well, there's a couple reasons actually. Number one, Mr. Trenbo was kind of hard to describe to people when they asked me what my channel was, and they wouldn't always get it right. Secondly, there's another channel that's similar called Mr. Turbo. I don't know if he even does content anymore, but it seems like every time, even if I typed in Mr. Trenbo, it would come up, did you mean Mr. Turbo? And I'm like, no, I don't mean Mr. Turbo. And if I did actually get it to type in and go Mr. Trenbo, it would still bring up content for Mr. Turbo. So I would literally have to send people links to videos of mine or topics, the Musk and Dune Cat specifically, to actually bring up my videos and my channel. So I changed it to Max AC, which is a little bit easier to describe, and it's a little more familiar with people, and it's easier to search in the YouTube world. So without further ado, we're gonna jump on this next project. Let me show you what I got. My God, my bench is a mess. You know how it goes, you got way too many projects going on. Anyway, this is a Weber 2-barrel carburetor. Look at that. It's awesome. I picked this up to go on the Le Mans. This is a, here, let me show you. I'm on the wrong side. See this? How this linkage works? Ready? See, both move together. This is a 38-38. Boom. Equal size butterflies that open simultaneously. Not to be confused with the 32-36, which is the progressive. Opens up the 32, I think, was it 32 millimeter, and then into the 36 millimeter progressively, which I hear those are good for some applications, but they don't really work on a 6-cylinder. People use them more for the 4 cylinders. But with this 38, I hear they have very good results with those. Now that is a 2-barrel going onto a 1-barrel manifold. So since I need an adapter, I jumped on Summit, and that was the cheapest one I could find. This is a 2-barrel to 1-barrel adapter. Now, I'm going to have to check for clearance issues and things like that, just in case, but that should work out pretty well. But I need to run and get some parts because this was a used carburetor, and I got it for relatively cheap. I'm really happy with it. I need to figure out where some plugs and things are missing. This, well, I think that's actually on the wrong side, but I can switch it over if I need to. But I think it should bolt right up pretty well. It's got an electric choke even. Wow, fancy. My old carburetor does not have that. I need to do a little assessment on it. It's pretty clean so far. I'm going to clean up a few other things and then get it ready to slap on. Okay, take off from a dead stop. As you can see, it almost fell on its face, just about died. That's just hammering it. If I slow down a little bit and then roll into it, that's to the floor. So just not a lot of power. I guess for a 6-cylinder, the seat of your pants dyno, still says this thing's pretty gutless. I mean, what's it gonna hurt? I'm gonna have twice the CFM, give or take, coming out of that Weber. So, you know, I'm probably not gonna fix the falling on its face part right out of the hole, but maybe it'll have a little more pickup at speed. Let me get home, Start slapping this carburetor on there, and we're gonna find out if that's gonna make a difference for the better or worse, I guess. Okay, well, this thing's hot as hell, so I guess no time like the present. Let's get started. And here's where the fuel sprays everywhere. Yep. Let some of that pressure bleed off for a second. There we go. Then I got this nice fuel-soaked rag sitting over the hot exhaust. That's the safe way to do it. Ow, 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 ow. Just fall on the ground. There it is. One Rochester single barrel off. You know, I pulled my gasket off of here, and I'm gonna say, based off of that stain, that my hole in my gasket was slightly smaller than the hole in my manifold. I guess could have potentially led to a little bit of restriction. Not much, mind you. I mean, for a restrictor plate racing, which this has never done, does that make a big difference? Probably, but my adapter comes with a new gasket, so I shouldn't have to worry about that. So then there's the next conundrum. There's a couple options here. So first off, you got to ask yourself, hey, self? Yeah. Would you mount this carburetor parallel or perpendicular? I don't know. Whatever you think is best. You're no help. Well, considering all factors, I think I'm going to go ahead and mount it parallel with the motor. That puts my fuel line in the front where it lines up with this fuel line. It puts my throttle linkage on the side where it lines up with that throttle linkage. And it puts my vacuum port on the back side for my transmission and my vacuum advance. I think with that, yeah, it should mount right on there. Well, before I slap this all together, I do want to clean up the bore of this adapter a little bit. I don't know if you can see it. It's not very round. There's a little bit of a lip coming in. There's just a little extra material there when they cast it. I'm going to clean that up just so it's a nice smooth transition down into the manifold there. I know, this is still smaller than the hole on my intake manifold, just slightly. But that should do a lot better than what it was, I suppose. At least it's smooth. Time to go ahead and get this thing mounted. Now first off, I think I got to mount it to the adapter plate, and I can set it on there and put the bolts on, and then put the nuts on for that. Okay, well, right out the gate, got a little bit of a problem. First off, the bolts aren't really long enough. Get up there. I only got about 2 threads sticking through, so I need longer bolts. Secondly, as you can see, with those two lined up and that one in, I'm almost half a hole off on that other bolt, and I just cannot get that one to go in there. So I'm gonna have to address that, which that's fine. I can drill those out a little bit. As for the bolts, I'm gonna have to get longer bolts to run up through there. That's very minor. Okay, I think I got it pretty good this time. Hogged out the upper part of these holes on the inside just slightly. Found some longer bolts. See? So those will go all the way through with, of course, they're different size nuts, so I had to get different hardware. I think that'll work. Yeah, actually throw washers on the bottom. Those washers are too small. Alright, here we go. Nothing like a hodgepodge of hardware, I can always say. Oh well. Let's see, those will be on the outside, so I'll put these on. These are actually off of a bicycle. But they work, so, I mean, who's to say? See, these lock in place, so, you know, my hardware doesn't come loose. Okay, now that I got a little more room, got this thing all tightened up. I want to double check the clearance inside. I don't know why. Seems like it was doing that before. When I go wide open, it sticks. Now, why does it do that? Better put some lube or something on there, because if that happens while I'm driving it, we might go to valve float. If I go to shut her down, I'm afraid she's going to diesel. There we go. That's too much oil. A little bit on here. It's just because there's not a return spring. What is happening? It's like something's going over center and hanging up. I don't know. I guess I'll just have to figure it out once I get it put on. Well, this thing's finally cooled down, so that's a good thing. Something like that. Come on. Oh, I should have test fit these beforehand. See if I can get a different nut for that one. It's tight and appears to be tight. All right. Cool. What's next? Throttle linkage? Should just be that to that. I don't know if that's got enough pull. So that should just be able to attach right to there. Don't need any of this right here, but I'll get all that hooked up before I take that off. Go down here. There we go. Wide open and back to zero. Cool. For crying out loud, I leave for an hour. There's already leaves all over my crap. And it ain't fall, it's almost spring. Stupid trees. Anyway, alright, time to get back on it. Take it off down here. Yeah, good enough, I suppose. It'll do for now. The vacuum advance line's a little tight, so I ran it across the top of the motor over to the back side there. I'll fix that later on if I need to adjust something and figure out if that's where this thing's going to work out. I think other than that, everything else is hooked up. Fuel line's hooked up. And then throttle linkage is hooked up. I got to test to make sure that it's going to full throttle. So basically it's full throttle on the way to there. So with the teeth bottomed out, I'll put you all on a stand and you'll have to watch for me. Okay, let me know if that thing goes to full throttle. Oh, pretty close. Yeah, I guess I can see it. Oh, and it sticks. Try that again. Doesn't do it by hand, but when I step on the gas, Pedal makes it stick, but why does that stick? Is that linkage too tight? Don't know. Need a stronger spring on there, or run it to a different hole maybe. That's the mystery. All right. Well, I think it's good enough to at least try and fire it up. Keep an eye on my fuel filter. That should prime up, and then send fuel up to the carb. Contact. Get fuel up there yet? Oh yeah. Gotta fill up the bowls. Note. Dude, I'm digging this. Let me get the rest of that linkage and stuff pulled off there because it looks like it's going to work out pretty good. And take it for a rip. Alright. Get this put back on. Don't really care for these little things. Seem kind of janky. I'm guessing there's supposed to be probably more than 2, maybe 4, but I'm not sure. I think it's time to take it for a rip. Okay, something's wrong with my transmission line because I don't want to shift. So apparently that's not the right vacuum. But man, it pulls. Yep. Okay, she's not shifting just yet. Oh, but the seat of the pants dyno is definitely telling me there's some more power there for sure. Alright, let me see if I can fix that vacuum. Good morning, YouTube. It's the next day. Got a little late last night. I kind of reconfigured my vacuum lines because I have no manifold vacuum on the carburetor at all. There's only one port and it's above the throttle blades, so that's not going to work out. So this rig right here is getting my vacuum advance to work, and that works really good, but the problem is my transmission is still plugged in back here and it doesn't want to shift. So I'm going to pull out this block right here and go to the store, see if I can find something that has a couple more vacuum ports on it, and then run the rest of my vacuum lines straight off the manifold. And hopefully that'll take care of the problem. And then it will shift, because that's the last thing And I'll reroute my lines and kind of get everything reorganized because I don't like how all that looks back there, and with this here it's just messy. But I'll get it squared away. Oh, that's not very tight at all. Come on. Come on. A little crusty inside, that's okay. Come on. That one was a little bit tighter. And here we go. So now, literally I can just get one of these just with an extra port, whichever one they have in stock. Here's my solution to the vacuum problem. Apparently, breast fittings are almost impossible to come by, and just these 3 pieces cost me a small fortune from Lowe's. So this is dumb. I'm probably not going to put that on there. So I'm going to try something else. I'm going to punch a hole in this, insert a small tube, because I really only need one more fitting, and then basically seal it in there, slap it back together, and that should look a lot better than this piece of crap. So that's where I'm at. There we go. Drilled a small hole in the side of my fitting here so I can add an extra vacuum port. And this is just a piece of heat riser tube from my old choke assembly, which I don't need because this one has an electric choke. So I'm going to cut a piece off, stick it in there, put a little bit of sealant on it, and that should get me where I'm going. I don't know how old this pipe cutter is, but hopefully it works. Yep, there it is. Oh god, now it's lost. Hey, my 10mm socket. Just kidding. Okay, right there, just like that. Put a little thread sealer or something in there, lock it in, call it a day. There it is. One vacuum fitting. Groovy. Groovy? Don't you mean tubular? There we go. Oh, I need a stubbier wrench for that. Doggone it. Alright. That goes on there. Looking horrible. This guy comes over here. I need a longer piece of vacuum for that, and then power brakes. Get on there. Okay, that one. That guy, and that one goes on there. Now then, as long as nothing runs into itself. Oh, I gotta plug off that other vacuum port now. Okay, cold start. With everything on there, let's see how it does. No gas. Almost. Not bad. nice pull to it. And it shifts now. Ooh, wee boy. Can't imagine what this thing would be like if I actually had a 3-speed in it. This little 2-speed is, it leaves a lot to be desired, especially out of the hole. Kickdown would be nice too. So I'm going to look around and see if I can find a turbo 350. I think the guys even has a turbo 200 or something around here. I've never even heard of that one before, but any 3-speed automatic, I guess, would be nice. So if I can find something with the right bell housing and bolt up to the straight 6, that'd be great. Anyway, I hope you all liked the video. Hopefully it gave you a little insight into potential that there is to be had by upgrading your carburetor. So I was looking for a gator back there. Hopefully give you a little insight into possibly upgrading your carburetor and a little bit of potential there. So I'm probably going to just go ahead and get rid of those old 1-barrel Rochesters because I'm not going to use them for anything. Anyway, hope you all liked the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and good luck with your projects. God bless.